Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Whip Entertainment, the company that will soon bring you the powerful short film Discarded, the story of one man's struggle with his greatest enemy, the enemy from within. Hello all, this is Will Martell, and welcome to Aspire to Inspire. And if you like the contents that's coming up in this video, please like, comment, and subscribe and share if you get the opportunity. Today's subject will be treat a woman like a crack addict. Coming up next. Let's get to it. Hello everybody, this is Will Martell again, coming back at you with another video. And today's subject will be treat a woman like a crack addict. What do I mean by that actually? Well, let's just say here is what I mean. Now, whether or not you're married, you're with a woman, you're casually dating her, whatever it is, just keep in mind that if she's in between the ages of, let's just say, 18 to somewhere around the area of 50, that more than likely she has been ran through more times than the Chicago Transit Authority train tunnel. All right, that's a little harsh, but I've been under fire recently for my use of the word hoe, slut, Jezebel. I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh, but I have been under fire for so many things. I was called this week, just within the last 2 weeks, of basically coming out and saying, I'm red pill for life. Okay. I've been under fire for the use of those words. I've been called cynical. I've been called negative. I've been called all these things because I've woken up to the truth about women. Something that I had to discover. Something that I used to believe in the fairy tale. I used to believe that, yes, and in the end, it'll be like a Disney movie. We'll be all happy and we'll all go jump and skinny dip in a sea of life. That's what we'll do. And I believed it. I fell for it. And where does it get a guy when he falls for it and believes it? Nowhere. Okay, so I don't want to get off subject here. I was going on a little rant. Okay, so what do I mean by treat her like a crack addict? Here's what I mean. As I said, whether you have hooked up with your woman seriously, you have dated her, or you decided you're going to settle down with her and marry her, just keep all those things in mind of how many sexual partners that she's had. Because trust me, if an alcoholic is around a bunch of people that drink, he's going to crave that. He's going to crave that beer or that mixed drink. He's going to crave it. He's going to crave it. So this could fall in the category of a woman who was once a hoe and turned it all around and decided that she was going to settle down because basically all of her options have dried up. And she decides that the next beta male, blue pill swallowing simp, mangina, that she comes across, that she's going to settle down with him. So here's the thing. She settles down with him, but then she needs that girls' night out. She needs to hang around at the bars. She needs to go out every weekend to a bar. She needs to be in a club. She needs to be basically in the action. Because if she's not in the action, then she'll be at home and she'll be screaming, "I'm bored." Which really, if you have a guy settling down with a woman, you find things to do together. There's no reason for someone's woman to be at a bar every weekend, to be at a club every weekend, to basically have a drink every weekend. I mean, what reason is it? I mean, there is no reason at all for it. Hell, you can find fun without having a drink, And me, I love to have a drink, on the weekends or something like that, have a beer or something. But when this gets very, very excessive, then there's a problem there. So what am I saying exactly? When your woman has to be out with her girlfriends every single weekend, there's a problem there. There's a problem there because I was told a long time ago by my mom. She said, women in life need two things. One, they need attention and plenty of it. And the second one is that if she, as my mom would say, if she was a hoe, then she needs more. She needs more dick. One is not going to actually do her justice. She needs many of them inside her. And really, when you meet these women and stuff like that, they will never ever tell you the truth about their sexual background. They will never ever tell you the truth. So what you have to do is, if they tell you that they've slept with 15 guys over the period of their life, let's just say, for instance, they might be 47 years old or something like that, and they said, okay, well, I've only slept with 15 guys. Fellas, you better multiply that shit by 3, because I guarantee you 15 is not the count. It's much higher. And you have to think about things like menage a trois, and things like that. You got to think about random dudes and threesomes and things like that. That's what you have to think about. And I know that some of you guys can't take the hard truth about maybe your woman was passed around so many times and stuff like that, like an old damn newspaper to be read, that it's not even funny. And it's true. No woman out here in the world today is actually scot-free clean. None of them. And especially some of the women that I've dealt with. I dealt with women that did all kinds of shit. Which I was glad that at least, they were honest enough to tell me that, they were involved in random dudes and threesomes and fucking orgies and things like that. That kind of gets up there with a count, with the body count. And trust me, the body count for a woman is a lot more higher and stuff. And now you even got guys out there and stuff, but we've been basically carrying that little sign of being out here in the streets and banging anything that moves. But see, when you really scratch to the surface and step away from the chalkboard, the truth will be revealed. It's not the dudes anymore. It's not us anymore, fellas. So if your woman told you she only slept with 3 dudes, multiply that by 3. If she told you she slept with 15, multiply that by 3. Because you have to think about it. Throughout her life, she has probably been ran through more times than a little bit. I mean, my God. It's a little horrifying, actually. I mean, and it's like, I'm not really involved in a relationship, so to speak, but I will tell you that there were a couple of women that I asked a question to, and they will never ever give me a straight answer. Want to know why? Because see, when a man actually gets it, women are a little afraid of that. They are very, very afraid of a man actually understanding these things. But see, I'm not here to like bash any of that. Hey, look, whatever the fuck makes someone happy, I don't really give a damn. It's all good. But I'm the messenger. And the messenger is telling you guys out there that yes, at one time, your woman was a hoe. So if this is hard to listen to and whatnot, then I suggest don't listen to it. But for me, I used to think the girls that I dealt with, the women that I dealt with, were these nice, these nice and upstanding ladies and whatnot. But when like me for instance, I thought they were upstanding. I thought they were cool. I thought they were nice. Oh yeah, this could be somebody I'll settle down with. Guess what? You find out that old habits die hard. They couldn't stand just having a relationship with someone. They couldn't stand having just that one guy. So you have to treat them like a crack addict. And this is what you have to do. You have to stop them from going to clubs. You have to stop them from having a girls' night out or a girls' trip and stuff like that. And if you think for a minute that their girls' weekend or their girls' night out, that guys are not trying to hit on them and that they will not want to take them into some bathroom and shit like that, and get busy, then you're totally misguided, because that's exactly what happens. That is exactly what happens. And nowadays, my way of thinking has basically changed, because I don't put anything past a woman, period. Which also brings me to another subject, which I will cover in another video, and that is your non-sexual attention. Don't give it, fellas. Don't give it. But I'll cover that in another video. Excuse me. But let me just say this. If you are in a serious relationship with somebody, and this is not to say, this is not to say that you rule over someone's life. But if they have to be out at the club every weekend, if they have to be at a bar every weekend, if they have to basically hang around a lot of guys and shit like that, and they got all these guy friends and stuff, for me, that's a deal breaker. That is an absolute deal breaker. Because the way I look at it is, and I covered it in another video. If you, like, if you allow a woman, if you allow a woman to have a whole bunch of male friends, guess what that is, fellas? That's called dick on reserve. And if you don't believe me, if you got 5 friends, 5 guy friends, and your buddies are always talking about, well, you know what? Susie is always hanging out, with Chad every single weekend. They're always doing stuff. You want to know what they're doing? They're fucking, that's what they're doing. That is exactly what they're doing. Now, not all the time that it happens, but trust me, that guy, if the woman, if Susie is attractive, he wants to bang her. That's just the reality of it. And see, I used to believe in that blue pill thinking men and women can be friends and stuff. No, 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 no. It's totally way off. Totally way off. It can't happen because what you're doing is you're being an emotional tampon for that particular woman. So no, can't be friends with her. And you have to treat this woman accordingly. You have to stop her from going to clubs. You have to basically save her from herself, because at one time or another, she will slip and she will cheat. It is unavoidable, and something that I had totally lived by. And that is this saying: you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife. That's real. And I'm just keeping it 100, fellas. You cannot turn a hoe into a housewife. It is impossible. And that is our problem. We are guys like to save women and think that they could save a hoe. You can't save a hoe, because that's just who she is. I mean, that's it. And you have to accept it. That's it. I mean, you can accept it, or you can, tell her to go pound sand and kick rocks and, go your own way and do your own thing. I mean, you have that choice. But if you choose to keep this woman in your life, or you stay married to her, and I've made those mistakes too, because I had a former wife that used to love hanging in bars all the time. Every single weekend, it was the damn bar. Even after we got hitched up, it was the bar every single weekend. Every single weekend, it was a bar. Around the time I was 27, I was so finished with bars at that particular time, it wasn't even funny. I was done with it. It was boring. I just thought that there was more to life than hanging in a bar. All the bars are pretty much the same. It's just different faces. It's the same thing. Guys are trying to pick up chicks, and the chicks want a lot of attention from the dudes, and some may get drunk enough to actually say that they want to take you in a bathroom and blow you. So but guys, you have to actually save your woman from herself. I mean, you have to, but you can't change her. Just because she chose you doesn't mean anything. What it means is that she settled for you because she's tired of looking. But as soon as she has that girls' weekend in Vegas, or she has Chad and Tyrone trying to hit her up on Instagram, Facebook, or other places in social media, she's going to go and ride the CC. What is the CC? The cock carousel. She's going to go ride it. Trust me. Trust me. It's absolutely true. And especially watch these women that try to come off all as wholesome and nice and things like that. Because I will guarantee you, those are the biggest hoes. They are just trying to hide it, is all. They are the biggest slut bags around. So basically, fellas, it's not like, I'm going to state this like sleeping with the enemy or anything like that. But I will just say, know the background, before you get too emotionally attached, and then you find out that this woman, was fucking her ex-husband, or, ghost you, kicked you out of her life because of the fact that she wanted to go and ride the CC and things like that. Know who you're dealing with, basically, is what I'm saying. Know who you're dealing with. And if you're with somebody like that, you got to try to save them from themselves. But can you save a hoe? No, you can't. Can you be Captain Save a Hoe? No, you can't. And I wouldn't suggest it. Because I used to try to be Captain Save a Hoe. And then, you know what? I woke up one day and just said, you can't save them. You can't save them. You cannot save them, and don't try. Have enough respect for yourself that if you're with somebody and they have whole tendencies, which I don't care who it is, they have them. Whether it's someone sending pictures of themselves, they want to think that they're upstanding and things like that, but they're not upstanding because, yes, you're sending me pictures, but who else are you sending pictures to? I mean, I don't know how many pictures that I got. I'll give you one example. Here's how I know. Now, there's different types of hoes. There's a hoe there that will sleep with people. There are hoes that are attention hoes. And a couple of women that I dealt with, I felt that were attention hoes because I would get these pictures all the time. I would get these pictures of naked women with these big boobs and things like that, and yada yada yada. But there was no follow through. And this one woman had sent me these pictures. I think I had met her out at Club 84. I'll never forget it. Met her out just recently at Club 84. I used to see her in the gym all the time. So then, she wanted my number, so I gave it to her. No problem. Okay. So here we are, and we're swapping text messages. I didn't even ask for these damn pictures, and all of these pictures kept coming. I mean, they just kept coming. And I had to really slow the momentum down because I was getting bombarded with these pictures of her. And then one text message said, "Oh, do you think I'm pretty?" Oh my God. I was like, so I honestly texted her back and I said, "Hey, is this going to go somewhere?" I'm like, because it is kind of pointless to send me these provocative pictures if nothing's going to actually happen. And you want to know what she said? "Oh, I just like taking pictures in sexy lingerie." Know what I did after that? I told her, "Well, that's all fine and good. That's nice. And have a great day." So that was the last time I texted her. That was the last time I did anything, because after that, I blocked her number. and I had nothing else to do with her. So fellas, you basically have to watch your back with this stuff, because it's not all about your girl hanging out with her friends or anything like that, but you got to watch them girls trips, and you got to watch that every Friday and Saturday night they got to be out at the club, they got to be out at the bar, they got to be out at events and things like that, and without you. So you got to watch that. You got to really, really, really watch it. Sometimes, like I said, you have to save these girls from themselves, but you can't do it because you cannot change them. They will not change. If they was a hoe before they met you, just because they're with you, they are not going to stop being a hoe. And like I said, it's like a drug addiction. It's like alcoholism. You know, if a guy is, if a girl is in a room full of men and things like that, and she's getting hit on, she's getting her fix. But one out of those group of men are going to want to screw her, and she will give in. Trust me. Trust me. It took me a long time to figure this stuff out. It took me a long time to really see the landscape for what it really is. And this is exactly how it is. And I had to discover that. I discovered the truth, and it took me a long time to discover the truth. And had I discovered the red pill and the truth a while back, I'd be better off. But you know what? The way I look at it is better late than never. I'm going to wrap this up by saying, fellas, you have to treat these women that you're with like they're on drugs. You gotta basically, like make them go cold turkey. And if they don't want to go cold turkey, kick them to the curb, tell them to kick rocks, and go pound sand. Because your time is important. Your time is worth it. And the greatest gift that you can give anyone is the gift of your time. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Okay, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share if you get a chance. And remember to go over to my Dragon Whip Entertainment channel, where I will be uploading my short called Discarded coming up soon. I will also be having a Patreon account. So if you guys wanted to, throw some change and stuff my way to keep this content going and whatnot, please do. But remember, every day above ground is a good day. Deuces.